Hello again. I'm Nicholas Markey here, physical therapist and online fitness coach. I run Beach Barbell Physical Therapy here in Wilmington, North Carolina by day, and Beach Barbell Training, my online fitness coaching by night. Today's topic is more on the online or on the fitness side of things. What I want to talk about is the healthier food choices. So I'm not making this as like a judgment that there's certain foods that are good or bad, but you could, objectively label certain things as healthier options. And these are most likely options that you should opt for more often when you are trying to lose weight. And there's a few reasons why. So we'll talk about that. Um, Basically, we talked about to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. Now, how you do that, there's lots of different ways you can go about doing that, right? You can drop your nutrients to the point where you're bringing in less calories than your body is burning. So then your body has to target, internal things like fat. And, if you're working out, a good amount and eating a lot of protein, then your body will primarily target fat as opposed to muscle because we don't really want to lose muscle, right? But obviously, you can get in that caloric deficit in different ways, right? Like you could feasibly eat just Twinkies all day. I don't even know if they still make Twinkies, but yeah, this was a famous Twinkie diet where a professor went on for like 6 to 8 weeks and controlled his calories, and he ate the Hostess Twinkies and the snowballs and the cupcakes. And then I think he ate like a cup of broccoli at dinner so his like kids wouldn't see him eating a bunch of Twinkies all the time. I think he probably had like a multivitamin, some protein shakes or something to make sure he was getting some protein. So anyways, he lost weight. He was in a caloric deficit. So now, is that sustainable? Is that the best way to do it? Probably not for most people. Um, and the main reason why a lot of times you want to choose these healthier options is that you're probably getting more food volume, like amount of food per calories, right? So like, with things like fast foods and donuts and Twinkies and all this delicious, you might call junk food, um, you're getting the smaller amount of food volume and, like small, just literally amount of food, like, because food has to take up space, in your stomach, um, than for the calories, right? So like, think of how much, if you think of like, let's say, 300 calories of zucchini, my God, that's gotta probably be like this much zucchini, you know? Like that's a lot of zucchini. Probably couldn't even eat that in a day, right? Only 300 calories, right? Versus like 300 calories of a donut. That's, regular sized donut, right? So it's pretty obvious which one would make you feel more full. And if we're trying to help ourselves, because when you are in a caloric deficit, you are technically starving your body, right? And so your body's gonna like want you to not do that. So you may be hungry. So the more you can fill yourself up, the better chance you're gonna have at being, adherent and sticking with it, right? So it's all kind of trade-off. So I think, if you're going to do a short-term diet, like you say, I'm going to do 6 weeks, like we've talked about, kind of setting an end point. If you're going to just do a short-term diet, 6 weeks, probably the most optimal situation is just eating all the healthy stuff. And we'll go through what that means. Just doing your best just to do that, right? Because it's like, okay, I'm just going to do this 6 weeks. I'm going to, burn as much as I can. And then when I get to that 6 week mark, I'm going to go into maintenance for a little while, a couple months or whatever you decide for your maintenance period. So it's kind of like you're hyper focused on this. So, or you can do what a lot of people do is kind of like an 80-20 rule. So the 80% would be most, the healthy stuff, and then maybe the 20% of your calories you allot towards like junk food and stuff, so that potentially may help people be more adherent to the diet if necessary. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's just kind of figuring out which works for you. So it's all trade-offs, right? And there's also the fact that sometimes when you kind of just do the healthy food type stuff, maybe you don't get as much cravings, because like we all know how it is when you eat an Oreo or eat something like super delicious but high calorie. It's like you want more and more and more. You want more of the good stuff, right? Whereas like if you eat just tons and tons of healthy stuff that has low calories, maybe not crave it as much. One, because maybe you're just full, but two, it's just you just maybe don't have as many cravings, so it might help in that sense. Again, the main goal being helping you stay adherent. That's the name of the game, is just being adherent. Okay. Obviously, there are health factors with eating more healthy stuff. So, well, when we talk about what actually that means, what healthy stuff is, right? So let's just go into proteins. We'll talk about proteins first. So proteins are, building blocks of literally probably just about everything in your body, particularly your muscles. So when you're losing weight, usually people also want to have like a nicer look, more defined, more, kind of more athletic look or whatever. So that would include having better muscle. So when you're losing weight, if you're working out and, lifting weights, regularly, plus eating a good amount of protein, which we've talked about is somewhere probably like 0.7 to 1.1 grams per body weight or so. So anywhere in that range is probably going to be decent. Then your body, when it's in this caloric deficit and has to take the energy from somewhere, it's going to not look so much at the muscle to try to take that energy and break down muscle to fuel itself. It's going to more look at the fat, because it's like, I don't want to take it from the muscle because we're really using those things. We got to use them. So your body adapts to that. So, healthy proteins, you might lean towards kind of the leaner choices. So if you're going to do like meats, like, beef and pork and lamb, bison, buffalo, whatever, you probably want something that's probably like 90% lean, ideally. And then if you're, other things would be like chicken breasts, very lean, turkey breasts, very lean, fish, seafood, egg whites, non-fat and low sugar dairy, like Greek yogurt, things of that nature. I'm not saying you can't have like whole eggs and other stuff that just has more fats. You just want to make sure you're accounting for those other macros and calories, basically. Healthy fats, would be like eggs, but the eggs kind of have protein and fat, so they're gonna transcend the borders there. Things like avocados, avocado oil, olive oil, canola oil, nuts, nut butters like peanut butter and almond butters and all that stuff. Those are all good as well. And then for carbs, you're probably going to want to choose from things like fruits. Fruits have a lot of, good amount of fiber, which again helps you maybe feel a little bit more full. Lots of water in fruit, which again may help you feel full. More volume of food with less calories, right? Whole wheats, oatmeals, potatoes, corn, I'd put in the category. Popcorn is actually not too bad, pretty low calorie for the volume, but you do, again, have to be careful because we all know how can be with popcorn because it's so dang good. Things like that, and maybe more like starchier vegetables like peas, and sometimes people call potato a vegetable. So if we're calling it a vegetable, then it's a starchy vegetable. So you would put it probably in the carb category when we're tracking. Sweet potatoes, that kind of thing. And then you're going to want a lot of vegetables because most vegetables, like the lower calorie vegetables, which is, I'd say most of them, a lot of them are, a lot of fiber and really, really low calories. So you're getting a lot of food with less calories. So again, trying to fill you up so that you're not so hungry, so then you don't go binge and eat. Right? That's the idea. How much food, like, can I get more food with less calories so that I'm just not hungry? So I just don't eat if I'm trying to maintain that caloric deficit. So eating something like, at least 3 servings of vegetables, if not more, maybe upwards of 4 to 6 servings of vegetables a day. And, we also know that eating something like 6 to 10 servings total of fruits and vegetables is very good for health, just health in general, disregarding weight loss and all that. So if you kind of look at these categories, you're kind of hitting that point too. So also kind of staying away from sugar sweetened beverages. Our bodies don't do very good with, the sodas and sweet teas here in the South. It just doesn't really make you feel full. Those super sugary, delicious drinks from Starbucks and the coffee places and all that, right? They just don't really make you feel that full. So, got to be careful with those because you might end up eating a lot of calorie or drinking a lot of calories that then you just don't really feel. Again, what's going to probably make you feel more full? 200 calories of, let's say, some fruit and vegetables, or 200 calories from a soda or sweet tea or delicious coffee drink. Kind of obvious that probably the vegetables and fruit would make you feel more full, which then when you get hungry, maybe you're going to get hungry in a few hours as opposed to maybe drinking the drink. Maybe you're already still hungry, right? Because it's just that fluid doesn't, our bodies just don't do well recognizing those calories from the fluid. So going towards like artificially sweetened drinks and stuff. And there's really no evidence that in drinking artificial sweeteners in moderate amounts that they do any harm. So they're just a good way to help you get the tasty parts, but without the calories, right? I'd say also, people go different ways in this, but drinking lots of water might help a lot too, maybe more ways than one. So it could just be, the water maybe helps fill me up a little bit because water's 0 calories, and then you can sweeten it with those, water, enhancers that have no calories in them, make it all sorts of different flavors if that's your thing. And maybe also you just got to pee more, so you get up and walk around more. And it, maybe potentially like if you are just drinking plain water, again, when you're kind of drinking more and eating more plain stuff, it may potentially help kind of curb your cravings. It's like you train your body to be boring. So then it's like, I don't really need, all this exciting stuff. It's okay being boring. Especially if you're just going through like a short-term temporary diet phase, or weight loss phase. Um, Maybe boring might potentially be better for some people. So, and then of course, just kind of focusing on what would help you be most adherent to any sort of program. And, maybe that is like if I said, like we're doing like a 6 to 9 week-ish type thing, maybe that would be doing like, an 80-20 for somebody, where they're doing 80% healthy stuff calorie wise and then 20% junk food. Maybe for them, they're still in a caloric deficit. And for them, that helps them curb any sort of overeating, calorie binging, right? That's always what we're trying to mitigate. And then so they can kind of enjoy the tasty stuff while also still really getting full from the healthy stuff, right? And then maybe for another person doing, just really not having any of the junk food, maybe for them, they just really have a hard time around it. Just like for me, for instance, I have a hard time around all that stuff. So when I'm in a weight loss phase, I try to do my best just to focus only on healthy stuff because I know who I am. I know who I am. If there's like candy, like I'm bad during Halloween, okay, and the holidays where there's just all this delicious high calorie food. I just can't help it. So if I'm in a weight loss phase, I'm gonna try to just focus on the healthy stuff, but then with the mental thought of, this isn't forever, right? I'm gonna stop at a certain point, and then I'm gonna go into maintenance where I'll go ahead and indulge a little bit into that stuff, but still trying to maintain my weight. And so that's just kind of how I work, and maybe some other people do better with that versus like incorporating the junk food into their calories. So hope that was helpful. Again, I'm Nick Markey here. Comment, subscribe, share, ask questions, try to help each other out here. Weight loss ain't easy, or else everyone would be their perfect weight, right? Anyways, we'll keep the videos rolling, and I'll see you next time. Peace.